Well, I'm going to assume that didn't work. Again, trying to get this whole thing straightened out and all the bugs worked out. And I get one thing fixed and something else happens. So I'm going to assume that we're live right now. Let me take a look here and see what I can discover on that front. Yeah, it looks like we went live. So, listen, last night I did a live broadcast about some magic lantern slides that, I'll get to a different page here. That I discovered a while back, and they're in this. Let me see here. And if that's not working, of course it's not. Okay, so we have basically these are the magic lantern slides I was talking about, and what they are is they're a positive of an image of transparency. The most current thing we have or had up until a few years ago was 35 millimeter slides. These are kind of like an antique version of a 35 millimeter slide, if you know what that is. Some of these are cracked, but the box was pretty much filled with them, and so when we began scanning them, we didn't have any idea what they were. Now I do, but before I get into that, some of these actually have some writing on them, and this, I guess it's a guy named C. Kanzee, C initial C, Kanzee. So you can. Let me get back from that a little bit there. I think you can see that. Several of them are marked with that. And then we have, here's one that's marked as 25th anniversary at the Hotel Stewart. And I'm going to assume because everything else is the San Francisco Bay Area. And let me turn this back a little bit, I think. The Bay Area, no, I should have had that another way. And what this is a dinner, and it looks like there's a photograph on the table, and I'll show that in a bit here. But it was taken at a San Francisco hotel back, probably right at the turn of the century. And here's another C. Kanzee. Some of these are cartoon. That is really not working for me. Hold on, folks, just a second here. Let me try and get this situated. And I've just made it a little bit worse, I think, but kind of worse. There, kind of. At any rate, so these this is a cartoon, and there were several of those in there, and those were done in at 49 Nassau Street in New York. And there were several of those in there, and those were done in. Hey CJ, we did our research on this stuff, so I thought I'd share it with everybody. For those that are watching, CJ Penning, who just made a comment in the chat section, he helped me do the research on finding out what these were all about. And this is really annoying me right now. Jesus Lord. There. That helps a little bit. Okay, so CJ helped me discover what was going on with this stuff and what they were from, And this one right here is actually this is Hayes High School. That's in San Francisco, or it was. I'm not sure if it still is or not. I didn't get that far with that particular one. And it looks like that there was a J. Street was the fellow who was doing the editing on some of this stuff, at least this one right here. I'm not sure of all of them. So with that, let's go ahead and go to what some of these are, and we'll. The first off is this one right here. CJ brought it to my attention that is the that's the insane asylum in Stockton, from Stockton, California. Let me turn that back a little bit. But that's the insane asylum at Stockton, California, back in 1900. And he was able to discover that, and I guess it's got quite a history to it. This was in a local paper published by Lori Gilbert. This was in 2010, and it says here that I guess it was the building was used. She was taught Victoria from Barbara Stanwyck, I guess, or the young daughter. Supposed to have been her daughter, I guess, was tossed into this insane asylum. So that, and I don't think that building exists anymore, but I'm not sure. Okay, so what the majority of this is stuff. These gentlemen right here. This is probably in fact, I'm sure it's in Santa Cruz, and that kind of gives us an idea who it is. These the military uniforms are not military. It's military-esque, but it is the League of the Cross Cadets, which was kind of like a Catholic Boy Scouts, I think, was what it was. And these are young men that were on a trip to Santa Cruz and a place called Camp Fallon in Santa Cruz. I have not been able to discover what that building is, but something odd about this building. If you notice that there's a slope on this side over here, on this side, that slope looks like it's cut off. It's a very weird, almost like it was chopped, photoshopped or something. I'm not sure. But at any rate, I couldn't figure out what that building was from. Again, the League of the Cross Cadets in San Francisco, or I'm sorry, in Santa Cruz. And it looks like here that they're about going on their trip because they're in San Francisco, I'm assuming by this right here. This is the telephone company, and I can't read the first part of it, and I should know who this is, but let me see here. Yeah, I have to. Let me see. That's Merkmad. I have to agree with you, partner. Absolutely. They released the. It's like the inmates have taken over the asylum. Let's put it that way. And California Gold. I would like to. I'm not sure if I would like to have eaten at any of the restaurants back then. After reading some stuff about how food was prepared and stored back in the day. It's almost certainly the Santa Cruz area because of the eucalyptus trees in the back end, or Monterey or something like that. There's a lot of those trees up and down that section of the coast. Again, our young men from the Cross Cadets. And I was making a comment about this last night. Is I don't believe that they owned boots, but in order to make it look like they owned boots, they put these. And I was speculating possibly it was to protect them from snake bite, but these sheaths over, and you can see that it goes under their boot, and then zips up on the top or something. I'm assuming. No, it laces up. It laces up right here. So, yeah, they wouldn't have used zippers, I'm sure. Yeah, it does look like it's not finished. And this is these two gentlemen, and I should have switched this around yet. I didn't get a chance, but it's the second engineer. It looks like second engineer's cabin aboard a steamer. This particular steamer right here. I did some research on this, and it turns out this steamer, the W.J. Corcoran, ran between. I think it was Benicia and San Francisco. It never came very far uh, up. It never got up the Sacramento River, I don't think. And that was I should have paid more attention to that, but I didn't. Figured I'd get to it later. Interesting, gentlemen. Oh, there's something written there, and I didn't catch that before. Hmm. Not catching it now either. And this is aboard that same steamer. And our cross cadets are out at Santa Cruz at Camp Fallon, and of course, the beach. And there's a building out in back, and I hadn't again another building I didn't notice before, but it doesn't help us a lot because you can't really read what's on the sign. You can see there's a sailboat or just a sailboat, large sailboat back there. These particular people right here, okay, so we have Major Morrissey and Father Dempsey, the genial Father Dempsey at the bat. Remember these names. In a couple of minutes here, I'll see if I can, actually, let me see if I can get to that now. Okay, this particular newspaper article, again, CJ and I were able to discover several newspaper articles about these guys visit at Camp Fallon in Santa Cruz. But you'll notice that we actually have this slide. So they took their newspaper article was taken from this particular slide, and that is right there. So that's a slide that we found in the box, and the newspaper article follows that. Supervisor Deasley, I guess, from Santa Cruz, McNamara and his whiskers. But a lot of these names appear in these newspaper articles. That's Company D baseball team, and I was making comment last night about the people that would love to own this equipment, this baseball equipment. Especially, it looks like it's looking really spiffy right there. It'd be nice to see what that was. At any rate, yeah, to own all this equipment would be really cool. In fact, a couple of these uniforms wouldn't be bad either. More of the articles, and we're just going to run through these fairly quickly here because all of this is on Patreon, and if you go to Patreon and subscribe, you can go ahead and you can do a lot more research on these if you care to. Scott, hey Scott, yes, I'm just going over the research that we did on these. As I said, CJ and I were doing actually CJ started it last night, and I got a couple of emails from him with the newspaper articles that were about that particular visit to Santa Cruz. We're in San Francisco here. Our cross cadets again. And a young man, looks like mud. We're hoping it's mud. And you can see that's we were speculating on this being a cannon last night, and as it turns out, it is a cannon, and we'll show that in a moment. That is Father Dempsey that was in the article. So it's interesting to see these people that that these cartoons were about, and also the newspaper articles they're written about in newspaper articles. There's a two-masted sailing ship back there, and then some small sailboats, and that's interesting out there. I guess this is something built in the water, or maybe it's a floating thing that they're all able to get on there. Actually, it looks like it's floating because you've got a long line that goes out to it, it appears. That is the. This is one of the things that CJ was able to look up. This was the county courthouse in Stockton, California, in the 1800s, early 1900s as well. And Santa Cruz and our cadets. Oh, God bless you, Scott. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. You're the first fellow that's done that. Besides, CJ did it a while back, but I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. This is, by golly, they're having dinner down here, and I'd love to know what their menu was. But they talk about this meal, and one of the young men were making a comment or a joke about the mayor, I believe it was, in the newspaper article. And in fact, let me take a look there and see if I can get to that real quick. At the dinner table, the boys accepted the mayor as one of their own number, and hardly had the first course when hardly had the first course been served when the somewhat impertinent query, "How do you like the stew, Jimmy?" came in the noisy chorus from one of the table. While whatever reply His Honor might have made was drowned in the tumult of boyish laughter, this informal reception startled him for a moment, but he fell right into the spirit of the occasion, and his genial smile told that whatever his opinion of camp stew might be, he was in a hearty accord with the temperament of the hosts. At any rate, so it's just really cool to see, stuff that was actually written about the images. We don't often get that. That doesn't often happen. So, and again, these are the officers in that group. Is what I'm going to assume. A couple of these show up in other photographs, but being that they're older, I would say that they're officers of the group. And I thought this was San Francisco. I thought that was the old city hall in San Francisco. Of course, it's the city hall in Stockton. I don't know what this memorial is, and I don't know if it even exists anymore. It would be interesting to find out. We ought to look that up before we go here. And here's that cannon I was talking about, CF Cap's Baby Dewey, but that was what was on the, and it says May 1st, but or May 3rd. I cannot read the date though. And their version of a trampoline, the blanket toss. I've always wondered how many people got injured doing that. And here is the 25th anniversary, as it's written on the slide, but I'm not sure what the 25th anniversary is. I'm assuming that it's possibly the elders from the League of the Cross Cadet Group or organization. These were probably young men 25 years ago, that, or some of them at any rate, that started out in the organization. I'm looking at some of the ages of some of these guys, and 25 years wouldn't have done it. There's a few of them that are like this. Well, it might be it looks like Father somebody. He's wearing a priest collar there. So yeah, I guess maybe possibly it could have been. Some of them were. And again, we have. They all look like they almost look like not Civil War soldiers, but just soldiers from the period of like the Indian Wars and this sort of thing. And this is Hayes High School. And again, I showed this last night, but it's really interesting, and it bears looking at it again because they've got just, I guess, a lot of the young men dressed up as young women, and a lot of the young women just dressed up. And of course, we have the blackface thing going on there. But some of these are definitely young men dressed up as women. And I think that is the last of them. That was the last of it. Okay, yeah, it was. Well, listen, I just wanted to share that with everybody because last night there we were able to scan these in, and it took a long time to scan them in. Really didn't really have a lot of information about them, but now we do. So all I can say is that, just have a really good evening, and thank you guys again for showing up. I'm not sure whether or not this is going to work, but I'm going to try it. If this works, this will be the end of the shows when